Previously, we've seen the BMW 330e run with no battery, with a full battery, and today we've got another 330e, and I want to test it on battery power alone. Can it do my actual commute just on battery power? Because if it can, that means it basically costs nothing to run. And then at the end of the video, we're going to see if having no battery at all in this thing affects the performance when compared to a 330e that has charge in its battery. So let's get cracking. Okay, first things first, we need to get in electric only mode. So I can do that by pressing this little button down here. And now everything goes quiet. I'm going to run this car in just electric mode, not electric individual. In fact, what can we configure in here? Eco Pro, Eco Climate, steering, yeah, whatever. Just electric mode. So now I'm going to drive it as if I would a regular car. Air conditioning will still be on. Right, let's get out of the dealership. This car was fully charged this morning and it did say it had over 20 miles of range. Now, after being unplugged for about an hour and a half, it's saying I've got 19 miles of range. But this is a realistic test. Imagine if you're at home and you unplugged it in the morning to get ready to go to work. Even though we're in electric only mode, I'm still going to be using things like the air conditioning. I'm just going to let the car do what it needs to do. Anyway, driving around town, how does this 330e differ from a regular BMW 3 Series? Well, obviously we've got a big old battery, a 12 kilowatt battery in this car, which does add a little bit of weight. So we are just under 2 tons now in this, so it is a heavy old thing. But it rides a little bit differently, I would say. Do you know what? It actually kind of rides like the Estate, interestingly enough. It actually feels a little bit softer, but firmer at the same time. Like more jittery, but softer. Oh, this lovely BMW driver is actually letting us go. That is not very BMW driver of him. So trip computer's been reset and it will tell us how many miles we actually do. So it's saying 19 miles, could be completely wrong. It could do absolutely nowhere near that, or it could do better than that. And we're not being very nice to this car because this Commute includes a bit of a journey on the motorway, which hybrids really don't like because their peak efficiency is at a much lower speed because it's designed to be driven around town on EV power. Then once you're on the motorway, it's designed to have the engine kick in because then you can just pootle along in 8th gear. I guess another point to this video as well is that the new 330e, as in the LCI 2 330e, has a bigger battery with 19.5 kilowatt hours of net usable capacity, which means it should in theory do over 60 miles to a single charge, which, you know, obviously you're going to be able to do your commute on just one charge in that. But do you actually need to spend your money, or can you just get this one and still do a regular commute? Now, my personal commute is about 14 miles, give or take. But today we are just going to drive it until it runs out. So we'll do my commute and then keep driving it until it goes completely dead. Obviously parking this car just like any other 3 Series really. Although one thing I will say actually is obviously without the engine, being an EV, it's kind of just a little bit smoother at doing everything. And then you can always get to the first notch on the door. It's a 3 Series, not a 6 Series or an 8 Series. And the door closing sound sounds like this. Solid. G Series, 3 Series. Really solid car. There's a definite improvement of quality in this over the previous F Series 3 Series. Everything's just a little bit tighter, and that's not just because it's a newer car. Right, coming out of junctions, obviously on electric power alone, it feels quite nice because you've got instant torque from nothing. You're not waiting for a gearbox, you're not waiting for anything. The car is just like an EV, it does just go, and it means you can get out of junctions smoothly and quickly. And obviously as soon as you come off the throttle, it starts regenning power. Okay, let's see what the acceleration is like just in EV mode coming onto the motorway. So I'm gonna put my foot down now. That's pretty good really, all things considered. I mean, yeah, I'm even catching up to traffic that's merging onto the motorway and doing it completely in silence, mind you. Let's get up to 70 miles an hour. You can do nearly 90 miles an hour in this before the engine will actually kick in. But will it do my commute of 14 miles, or will it run out of battery before we even get to the end of the motorway? Let's find out. The other advantage of a hybrid powertrain is that this BMW 330e on the motorway is exceptionally quiet. Obviously you've still got things like wind noise, but you have zero engine noise as long as you've got charge in your battery. So this 330e did 71 decibels compared to a regular petrol powered 330e that will do 71.5 decibels. So marginally quieter, but it's definitely noticeable. There's just no hum going on in the background. Right, that is half our battery gone. We have done 12.4 miles on half the battery on the motorway as well, where our efficiency curve is not going to be as good as if we were just driving it on a regular road. And you can see proof of that here. We're only doing 2.7 miles per kilowatt hour, which is not very good. If you're an EV owner, you'll know that anything over about 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour is what you want to see. Anything over 4 is kind of Tesla territory. That's where you're going to be doing a lot of miles to a charge. But for the motorway, and it's a hybrid, that is not bad at all. But where will we end up? Let's see. Okay, that's the motorway section over. We've done 16 miles, so we've officially done my commute of 14 miles. But where will we actually end up? We've still got quite a lot of battery left. So it looks like we're going to go well above the 19-mile mark, which the car predicted that we would do. So it's very conservative. It's giving you kind of a worst-case scenario, which is actually really nice to see, because you don't want it to kind of say, like, oh, you can do 19 miles, but then you only do 10. Now, in terms of braking, obviously we have regen brakes, and it kind of blends the regen together with the brakes quite well. You can tell at lower speeds when it's switching from the regen to the brake disc, and it has this kind of gap where it's like not braking as much. It's obviously still braking, but it's just not braking as much as it regularly would. But it drives pretty much like a regular 3 Series. I don't think you're going to be able to feel the difference if you're not really into cars. And now we're off the motorway, we're going much closer into that peak efficiency curve of the electric motor, which means we should actually probably get 25 to 30 miles out of this charge. If we get nearer to 30, that means I can do my entire daily commute just on battery alone, which means if you charge this car overnight, it's going to be like £1. It's going to cost you £1 to charge this thing, which is basically negligible. Certainly a lot cheaper than a petrol car. My M140i, for example, I know not a great example because that's a 6-cylinder 340 horsepower hot hatch, but that will only average like 30 miles per gallon if I'm driving it very slowly on my commute. Whereas if I drive it like I usually do, I do about 20 miles per gallon. Okay, we're down to 1 mile of predicted range now, and we've done 25.2 miles. So 6 miles more than the car had predicted, and we've done a lot of driving on the motorway. Let's see when this actually conks out though. What's the acceleration like when I've got 1 mile of range left? Let's just give it some beans. That's still fairly decent, I'd say. Will it still get me up to 70? Oh yeah, you can tell. And there we go. And finally, it has conked out and the engine has kicked back in at 26.1 miles. So my daily commute is 28 miles, so only 1.9 miles of that commute I would need the engine for. That is genuinely really impressive. So in answer to the question, do you need to spend more money and get the newer 330e that has a lot more battery range? The answer is, if you've got a commute of 26.1 miles, no you don't. Right then, let's see what the performance is when the battery has completely drained. Do we still really have 292 horsepower under the boost mode? Let's find out. scores on the doors then, and a 330e without any charge in the battery is indeed slower. We did a time of 5.7 seconds or 5.69 seconds with no charge in the battery, and a 330e with charge in the battery was nearly a whole second faster and did a time of 4.96 seconds. Now that is pretty interesting. So not too slow, but it does definitely make a difference if you've got charge in your battery. 0 to 60, the time was also affected. The car with no charge in the battery did 5.75 seconds, and a car with charge in the battery did 5.44 seconds. Quite interesting how the difference is actually less than it was on the 30 to 70 sprint, and the only thing I can think of there is that the car's having to accelerate at a higher speed and therefore is relying on that charge of the battery being higher when compared to the 0 to 60 sprint. If you enjoyed this video today, please give us a like and please subscribe, as not only can you see more content like this, you can see everything we have for sale. Links will be down in the description below, as well as our link to our 30 to 70 leaderboard. Anyway, my name's Tom, and we will see you on the next one. Cheers.